Best policies and practices for staffing an online distance education program. Online learning and learning theory. Online learning is an educational process that was introduced in the United States at the time of the post-industrial era. Its emergence came about after the invention of the World Wide Web. During the industrial era, there were two prominent learning theories. One, behaviorism, and two, cognitivism. However, how we actually learn online is more efficiently aligned with the learning theories of constructivism, online collaborative learning, and connectivism. It should also be noted that the online faculty and staff are the core of any online program. What staff are hired for an online distance education program? The faculty generally include adjunct faculty, program managers, program coordinators, instructional designers, and some support staff. Those support staff could include help desk personnel, academic advisors, tutors, retention services, career counselors, financial aid staff, admissions personnel, as well as staff for registration. What skills are needed to be a successful online instructor? Obviously, technology skills would be needed. These would include knowledge of the school's LMS system. The instructor would need to be proficient with email, as well as learn how to manage threaded discussions. And the instructor would need to know how to operate an electronic gradebook. In addition, online instructors need to have facilitator skills. They need to have the ability to engage the students in the learning process, the ability to manage online discussions, and the ability to apply appropriate learning theories. When it comes to being an online instructor, and a pedagogy of constructivism is applied, the role of the teacher is transformed to that of a facilitator. As opposed to an instructor that works in a face-to-face environment, that person is basically a content expert. That person would offer lecture-oriented methods. An instructor at a face-to-face university generally controls what there is to learn, and the participants would have to adapt. However, in an online situation, the instructor is functioning as a facilitator. He is the process manager. He or she engages the participants. He also helps the students to access prior knowledge, and he encourages the participants to share. In addition to being a facilitator online, instructors need to possess good managerial skills as well. They need to have the ability to manage course materials for different learning styles, the ability to manage online collaborative groups. They need to have knowledge of digital copyright laws as well. Online faculty staffing patterns generally are a matter of part-time nature. Because what happens is, in a face-to-face university, most of the staff are trying to reach full-time as a goal. These full-time staff generally provide the content and they provide the instruction. In an online educational environment, most of the staff are part-time staff. This helps to reduce the cost and it allows for the hiring of subject matter experts, instructional designers, help desk support, admissions staff, and other administrators. Ate and Bonnke discuss the disaggregation of the teaching function. This idea means breaking the role of the teacher into many roles. These roles could include a discussion leader, examiner, a grader, a course planner, and sometimes even instructional designer. Some people view the disaggregation of the teaching function as a cost-efficient means of improving faculty productivity. However, Ate Abake actually questioned this particular observation. Let's take a look at some faculty concerns. Shea and Matawala, in 2001, these researchers report that online instructors rank both teacher training and administrative support as third and fourth in terms of areas that need improvement for online faculty. Additional online faculty concerns centered around intellectual property. In other words, if a staff person devised an online curriculum, who owns the rights to that particular classwork? Other faculty concerns included lack of an online tenure system. In addition, faculty who taught online felt like there was a lack of support and or collaborative learning communities available to them. Is a community of practice needed to address lack of support and lack of collaborative learning communities for online staff? Can a community of practice offer online faculty a lifeline of support through an online collaborative community? Just what is an online collaborative community? Fulton and Real define it as a group of individuals who are interested in a common topic or area and who engage in knowledge-related transactions as well as transformations within it. Let's examine the need for a community of practice designed for online faculty. Tarosky and Hensley state, online education is doing something to faculty, and the challenge for faculty development programs on today's campuses is to uncover how online education is impacting faculty. Assessing faculty need and to develop relevant faculty development programs, both in content and format, based on those needs. A community of practice can meet the needs of online faculty in the following ways. In other words, online faculty need to understand their new identity and role. In other words, they're saying, who are we becoming? In addition, they need to add meaning to their new experience. Just what is our experience? In terms of practice, online faculty need to understand, what are we doing? And in terms of community, they certainly would want to know, where do we belong in the educational process? In conclusion, in terms of best policies and practices for staffing an online distance education program, online learning and constructivism. When constructivism is applied to online learning, the outcome will lead to student-centered learning. In looking forward, Sutherland, Smith, and Saltmarsh, in terms of mining the P's of online education, purpose, pedagogy, and practicalities, can provide a helpful starting point for productive dialogue between teachers, policymakers, and management. In continuing to look forward towards a solution, Harrison suggests that one of the major and most interesting options will arguably be the heightened role of online community of practices for educators.
Constructivism is a theory of knowledge that I learned about in college, centered around individual learning, constructing meaning and understanding. The individual is where we start, essentially the most important part. Individuals are information constructors. What they construct depends on their culture, perspectives. Each one is unique. All of our minds have a different peak. What is it you want to seek? The individual is where we start, essentially the most important part. Piaget did mention that assimilation and accommodation is how we process information. With assimilation, you take in information that doesn't change your knowledge foundation. But with accommodation, there can be frustration with an intervention of new information as you learn your misconceptions. The individual is where we start, essentially the most important part. But then again, we're not alone on this planet that we call home. Knowledge develops in a social context, as Vygotsky did suggest. As learners, we make up a community, teachers, peers, most important family. The individual is where we start, essentially the most important part. We construct our knowledge socially when I teach you and you teach me. I'll try my best to use scaffolding. Our experiences construct our knowledge and determine their long-term story. Constructivism is a theory of knowledge that I learned about in college, centered around individual learning, constructing meaning and understanding. Teachers within our society, fundamental parts of the learning community. We need to make learning meaningful and explain how the pieces fit into the whole. The individual is where we start, essentially the most important part. A teacher facilitates, a teacher can motivate, a teacher collaborates, a teacher will investigate. Our experiences construct our knowledge and determine their long-term storage. Said it once and I'll say it again. Discovery, modeling, and cooperation. Constructivism could be the solution. Is this Brunner's revolution? The individual is where we start, essentially